Christina Etchberger with Louise Valentine, author of The Art of Breaking Through. So, hi, Louise, how are you doing?
Hi, doing well. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful. So I'm here today representing It's Military Life, IML book chats with author Louise Valentine, wellness expert, published research fellow, competitive athlete, and fierce military spouse who is passionate about optimizing outcomes. Louise her book is The Art of Breaking Through and is our first IML must read that we will be discussing today. So let's get started. Are you excited?
Very so grateful for the
Good.
opportunity.
Oh, of course. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey as a military spouse.
Oh, yes. Isn't this always an interesting question for any military spouse? It has been a dynamic journey. That is always how I describe it. But I met my husband, Zach, in college, and we were actually good friends. We didn't date while in college, but I used to hang out with the ROTC guys because I would be up early training or studying, and they were always up early doing their exercises. So, really connected with Zach and this group of ROTC guys. But like I said, we didn't date in college. He went off in 2006 and was commissioned as an Army aviator. And I worked to finish my degree as well as became a sports and medical massage therapist for the NFL. So my career was off and running. I was, this entrepreneur and contracting with hospital systems as well as the NFL. And I really describe it as a dream career. But I did meet up with my friend Zach during his first R&R from his first tour in Iraq, and when we reconnected as friends, we were both single at the time, and timing in life was perfect, and we spent every single day of that 2 week R&R together, and decided to date, and dated throughout the remainder of his tour in Iraq. And when he got home from Iraq, we had this decision point because he was going to deploy again in another 11 months, as any Army aviator, usually
Yes.
does. It's rapid fire of deploying. So I packed up my car and moved from Ohio up to Fort Drum, New York. And we spent those 11 months together and ultimately ended up getting married and making it a forever. So he, went off to Afghanistan, and I jumped back to Ohio for a little bit, back into the NFL career, um, and that continued to boom. I got hired by MLB, Major League Baseball, right, before he got back from Afghanistan, and found myself having to make that decision again. Like, here we go, packing
So
up the car,
tough. Yeah.
back to Fort Drum.
Yeah.
Um, and we actually ended up moving 8 times over the course of 10 years. And so it has been a crazy journey with obstacles of him leaving for training, deployments, having two small kids, and then me really wanting to have a career too. Um, but I kept refusing to give up despite people telling me to. I just kept going back to school and getting more degrees and more credentials to be marketable wherever the Army might send us. And um, as a result, I've had some amazing career experiences, but I've also had some really, really dark times. Those times that every spouse, I think, can relate to, where you put in 40 resumes and you don't get a single call back. And you're just beside yourself because you know that you've spent years in school and want to give back to the world in through whatever profession you are a part of. And so that was a big struggle early on, was just this balance of military spouse and career. But um, I really do feel that I came out stronger as a result of these experiences, and it's been um, an amazing journey. And I'm a better wife, mom, friend, all because of it. So I wouldn't give it up for the world, but it's not easy.
Oh my gosh, I so understand you because I too have those similar experiences. I was a teacher, and then going from, okay, you're teaching, that's my passion, to, wow, okay, this is something I have to give up in a way, or at least adjust.
Hmm.
So it's so incredible. And so with all that, you then created this book. So let's talk more about what inspired you to write your book.
Yeah, thank you. So I, 8 years after being a military spouse, finally got a position with the military. After I earned my master's in public health, I was awarded a research fellowship with Army Public Health Center. And it was this incredible position on this population health report called Health of the Force. So, really working to help senior leaders identify the health challenges specific to their units. And then I was largely in charge of helping to keep the information simple, realistic, actionable as a part of using my health communication background. And I really loved it. But of course, as a military spouse, we were ready to move again. So I get this position, and we moved from one Army base in Maryland to another. And thank God it was only an hour away.
Oh my gosh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I could back commute and keep the job. But here I was driving in the car 2 hours a day, and that time away from my kids. I mean, I have to optimize, or I
Yes.
can't do it. Like, I can't justify it. So I would actually write wellness content. I would speak it into my phone while I was driving each way. And I decided to have Team Valentine Project, my wellness website, as a side passion project where I would take these tips, tricks, and tools that I've learned throughout my career and experience, um, and share it with others, because I've been there, like, frustrated and not knowing, where to find good wellness information. So it was a way that I could pursue my passion of helping others live a vibrant, healthy life. And at the same time, I would better myself as a professional because I was working on all my health communication
Yeah.
skills. So having Team Valentine Project and being this wellness expert in it, also working with senior leaders for the military and DoD, um, I, I felt like I was finally here, as a wellness expert. And then I got my own health challenges diagnosed. At 33, I was told I had osteoporosis, hypothyroidism, and had come from a background of infertility and a lot of other root causes that were, you know, I had to figure out and navigate my own health and wellness. And as a wellness expert, I kind of felt, knocked off my high horse. Like, how do I cope with this? And now I have to take myself through the steps to live a vibrant, healthy life. And it was hard. So I was in a little bit of a dark place, and I decided to write down the 5 simple steps that I always use when I'm facing these obstacles in life, whether it's military life or a new health diagnosis. And I wrote the book, driving back and forth, writing it as I drove into my phone. It would work, when I have a spare moment here and there in the busy lifestyle. But I finally did finish it about 3 years ago, and um, unfortunately, the hour drive each way, I just couldn't sustain it with my husband's
Yes.
job, and I would come home exhausted and look into my kids' eyes, and I just you get to a point where you just have to give something up. And
Yes.
I was fortunate enough to have a great job here in Columbia, Maryland, where we are, but um, I did put the book on the back burner for a while. And then finally, if we look to about 6 months ago, we're in the heart of this pandemic.
Mhm.
And I get yet again a new health diagnosis of a precancerous condition of my stomach. And it was the same, maybe 2 week time span that my dad got diagnosed with bladder cancer. And our family was just facing, it just seemed like one thing after another in terms of challenges. And so I took myself back to my 5 simple steps to overcome these challenges, obstacles, and really put my heart and soul into editing the book, and got inspired to just share this message with others because I do always hear, like, oh, Louise, it's so awesome. You reversed osteoporosis in a year without medication. Like, I could never do that. Like, you're so strong. You're so resilient. And I just think if I can do it, anyone can. And I want to spread that message to others because I'm just like everyone else. But when I bring it back to the simple solution, I can empower myself to make the most of dark times.
That's just incredible. So really, it's very much about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely.
what I'm getting from it, and just your positivity and your strength. And these 5 steps, it really does have to do with the simplicity of it all. If you really go back and reflect on these 5 steps, that's really a great starting point to
Mm-hmm.
having a lifestyle that is healthy, and a life that is just, you know, positive, and it just really is all encompassing. So that is just incredible. So, what are a few key takeaways from the book you want the military community to know?
Um, so I'll go back to something you just said, which was simplicity, and that is is the book is very specifically designed to be super simple. And when we're facing challenges and complicated situations, and we're feeling overwhelmed, depending on the challenge, we might feel like completely broken. What do we do? And when we're in those dark moments, we need to come back to simplicity and root ourselves in something that's just so simple and is not going to take any more time or energy. So I really tried to design the book with that in mind, and using a very like clear framework throughout the entire book. So optimizing the reader's time and energy was very important to me because I've been there and I know what it feels like. So that was number one. Anytime we're feeling overwhelmed with a personal goal or obstacle, is root yourself in simplicity. The second thing I would say is rooting yourself in what works for you, not what worked for your mom, not what worked for your sister, not what worked for your neighbor down the road, but what works for you. And the book you'll develop a customized game plan specific to what works for you. So that is a huge goal and takeaway from the book. And I just want to say it's always awesome to strive to be great, to do better. But oftentimes, that greatness that we've been looking for has been inside of us all along. And
Yes.
when we know how to tap into that, we're relentless powerhouses capable of overcoming any challenge life brings our way. And so, this book will help you find what works for you, has worked for you in the past, and how you can use it and apply it each time you're faced with something that feels overwhelming or discouraging, and tapping into that greatness. So, tap into greatness that already exists with what works for you is takeaway number two. And the book will help you develop that game plan. And the third one would be that the one thing I think that's interesting about the book is it can be applied to any challenge life brings your way. So I do write from the perspective of being a competitive athlete and wanting that mindset edge to, PR 5K or take on a really physical competition, because my husband and I are competitive athletes. So we do have to tap into that inner greatness and that mindset for sport quite often.
Yeah.
Um, but also writing from the perspective of being diagnosed with something and just coping with that initially, and how you're going to keep an empowered mindset through the ups and downs, and also taking on personal goals. So it's all again about that customization specific to where the reader is at. So, what is the challenge they're facing? And you work through that specific to your own personal experience and needs.
That's so wonderful. It is absolutely amazing. So, to go back, this the simplicity and strategy and how it's a game customizable game plan for anyone going through any challenge. Just incredible. And so with that, we talked about that one last takeaway. um, so what would be that one last takeaway just overall, and where can we find you so we can keep getting this a positive mindset involved in our life? So where can we find you to connect?
Awesome. So thank you. TeamValentineProject.com is the website, and I share those tips, tricks, and tools that I've learned throughout my career and experience. Everything from working with professional athletes to helping community health planners strategize around health challenges all throughout the US as a military spouse. Um, so TeamValentineProject.com is the wellness website. And then I have an Instagram and a Facebook at Team Valentine Project. And being that I do have a full time career, I do tend to share more frequently through the Instagram and Facebook just those quick takeaways.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll post in the morning something that I'm working on personally and, um, share it with the world too. So um, do like or follow Team Valentine Project. But I think I would definitely go back to the book as a go to resource. So, keeping it in mind for the busy military spouse as we go into the holidays as a gift, um, or for the service member looking for that competitive edge,
Yeah.
really optimizing wellness and physical fitness. Definitely can be used as a great resource for that. But I think the last thing that I'll leave everyone with is that I am not here in any way to sugarcoat going through um, challenges and these moments in life that are extremely hard and dark. But I think the secret to it all, and that I share in the book, is in the secret to mastering the art of breaking through, is to fully accept that there's going to be dark moments along the way. And when we accept that, we can recognize those moments, give ourselves time to process all of the ugly that comes along with it, because there's a lot of ugly, especially in this lifestyle. Like, my husband's in the middle of a reassignment cycle, and it's a day to day ebbs and flows of us trying to communicate through that. And there's other things in life that are just, we have to know that they're gonna not be, always be easy. But I say that it's perfectly imperfect, because as long as you accept that there's darkness and you firmly know that you know how to make it to the light, you're always going to be okay. No matter what life brings your way, you're always going to be okay. You're going to have your moments, but you're going to tap into that inner resiliency and strength. And when it's there, you're not going to lose it. So I just hope that everyone can know this message of, we're all perfectly capable of overcoming any challenge life brings your way. And this book will show you how. And so if you're not in the middle of a discouraging situation or facing, a daunting personal goal, I'm sure you know someone who is. And
Yeah.
this would be a great message to spread, especially during this interesting pandemic time we're in.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. And it really is true. And I know when I've read books that might not be completely relatable at that moment, it might be relatable the next day, or it might be relatable with my neighbor or my friend. Reading is such a powerful thing to do, and a resource that is so important to utilize. And I want to give people the opportunity to win your book. Um, Two chances, and to go through that, all you have to do is like and follow It's Military Life and Team Valentine Project. Tag a friend who would love the book in the video comments section that we are on right now with hashtag IML must read. And it's just a great opportunity for people to get your book right now, which is so
Yeah.
exciting. And the book link, if you don't get a chance to win, the book link will be in the comments as well. I'm just so excited about this, and it's a perfect time, especially with all that's going on with the pandemic and just everyday life.
Yeah.
as well. So, anything else that you would like to say before we head out?
The one thing I would, with the book link, do use the one in the comments. If you go and you search The Art of Breaking Through on Amazon and you see that it's going to take like 2 months to ship, there's like a rogue version of the book on Amazon. So as long as you buy it from Amazon and says it's going to turn around shipping within a day or two, you're good to go. Um, Sorry about that one. I'm working on it daily.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, just spread the love, spread the message of the book. Um, and we're all in this together with this military lifestyle. And I believe that we're all going to make the most of it. And I hope my book is your go-to resource in order to do so. So
That's
thank you
so
so much for giving
wonderful.
me the opportunity to share. This was so fun.
Yes, of course. And that link will also be on Its Military Life under IML Must Read. This is our very first one that we've ever done. We will continue doing that throughout the next few months. And yes, thank you again so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay,
Enjoy
have
your
a wonderful
Sunday.
day. Yes, you too.